Hi Year 12 and welcome to today's lesson on sampling. What we hope to achieve today is to try and gain an understanding of a population and of a particular sample. So first of all, a little bit of background information then. A population is the whole set of items or values that are of interest to us. So for example, this could relate to all the people living in Wales, or it could relate to a certain town or city, or it could relate to all the people or pupils of a school, or even the items manufactured in a factory. You might have heard of the word census before, as in a population census, and a census measures every single member of a given population. A sample in itself is a selection of observations that we take from a subset of the population, which we use to find out information about the population as a whole. So, a census then, it takes into account everybody in a population. That has distinct advantages. One is that it gives us a completely accurate result for every item of the population. The disadvantage of a census is it can be time consuming. It could certainly be expensive, especially if we have to send out the information via post, for example. And the other thing is we end up with large amounts of data that we need to trawl through and work with. If we choose to take a sample, one of the advantages of taking a sample, it certainly will be less time consuming to collect all the information. It will certainly be less expensive. There would be fewer people to have to respond, and ultimately there would be less data for us to process and work with. The disadvantages of choosing a sample is the actual outcomes of the data we actually get might not be as accurate. The sample size itself might be too small for what we need, and the different samples that we choose from the population may actually lead to different conclusions. So here's an example about sampling. So a supermarket wants to test the delivery of avocados for the ripeness by cutting them in half. Part A suggests a reason why the supermarket should not test all the avocados in the delivery. Well, if the supermarket tests all the avocados and cuts them in half, obviously the supermarket wouldn't have any avocados to actually sell. So that would be a big disadvantage. So testing all the avocados would leave none to sell. So that wouldn't be a good idea to do that. So the supermarket now tests a sample of 5 avocados, and it finds that 4 of them are ripe. 4 out of 5 is the equivalent of 80%. So they estimate that 80% of the avocados in the delivery are ripe. Part B is asking us to suggest one way that the supermarket could improve their estimate. We'll have a think, really, 5 avocados, it's not really that many. So in this case, I think they need to take a larger sample size. So a larger sample size will give a more accurate estimate. So it's always key when we're taking a sample from a population to make sure the sample is large enough. Obviously, in a supermarket's case, they wouldn't want to test too many because obviously they would be throwing a lot away and they would be eaten into any profit margin that they would have. So the larger the sample size that we could possibly take would be more beneficial to us. Okay, what I would like you to do now is I would like you to open the exercise up that I've attached to the assignment and have a go at questions 1 to 5 from the main task. When you're done, will you have a look at the checking question that I have here? It's asking you to suggest 3 different ways in which you can select a sample size of 100 pupils from 1,200 pupils because a school wants to change its uniform and get the opinion of 100 of its pupils, I want you to think of at least 3 different ways that you can select 100 pupils. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to send me a message. Thank you.